Hello, friends. This is your host Kushbu Roli. Welcome to the Voice of World. We again have amongst us Mr. Sridhar Chityala, who is a globally recognized leader in financial services industry, having led senior executive leadership roles at JP Morgan Chase, Citi, Wachovia, Wells Fargo, Tectron, National Australia Bank, and Commonwealth Bank Australia. He has had over 15 years of experience in investing, managing, and monetizing venture capital and private equity-backed companies. Today, we would like to talk about COVID-19 situation in India. How do you see India trying to revive economy amidst this pandemic?
India and COVID and Indian economic revival vis-a-vis COVID. India has earned the kudos as one of the nations, given its population and vast reach, is managed COVID admirably well relative to many others, many other nations. Some of the things that they did very well, they were the first to lock down. There's extensive tests conducted. They recognized early. Extensive tests were conducted for all incoming international visitors, especially from destinations, which had highest incidence of penetration of the COVID, be it China, be it Europe, be it parts of Asia. So extensive screening and testing, tracking and monitoring them, extensively using local manufacturing facilities for this immunohydroxychloroquine drug. And it eventually became a supplier to over 70 nations at short notice. So it adopted policies and procedures in terms of what is required, in terms of attacking, trying to prevent, and trying to contain COVID. The objective is a healthy population is what fosters a healthy economy as you come out. So first and foremost is got to protect the health of the people and their well-being. The second is, it faced some challenges in terms of especially migrant labor. India is a hugely migrant labor country. It went through some hiccups. There were some asymmetric responses from the states which are BJP and which are non-BJP. They seem to be slowly overcoming that issue. And third, India also probably the largest repatriation program conducted by any nation in the world, with vast number of its citizens situated in more than 80 countries or 90 countries. And India systematically repatriated and brought these people who were ever eager to come back. In Iran, it shipped a mobile lab. Italy, which was most affected, it shipped facilities to conduct on-ground tests in Italy. It was able to get special permissions in China, including directly closer to Wuhan, and migrated its people. So it quite clearly demonstrated that it has the capacity, wherewithal, and logistics in terms of moving people and trying to contain and manage the impact of COVID. While that was on, under 5 broad categories, it launched the Economic Revival Program. It's called Economy, Infrastructure, Digitization, Democracy, and Demand. Demand is stimulus for vast number of its people who are what we call underprivileged. It gave them 2 months of minimum wages deposited directly into their Aadhaar accounts. It gave them 2 months of supplies, basic food. It transported them underwriting 85% of the cost. Only state governments had to fund 15%. So to the needy, it allowed basic cash for them to manage themselves for at least 2 months. That may continue. I think they extended it by another 2 months. The programs that it has launched, be it the infrastructure fund, which creates jobs around the rural, that's well underway. Then it passed a special package for especially the MSME, micro, small, medium enterprises, where concessional loans at concessional rates were being distributed to be distributed through the banking system to millions of industries which were impacted, and they were also given incentives on their taxes and GST, which is the general services tax for commercials, for commercial merchandise. So it tried to reignite. It allowed state governments which were interested in attracting companies moving from China. It gave them a fair amount of freedom, capital support. UP, MP, Rajasthan, Haryana have grabbed it with both hands. In basically 3 things they have done. 1, created large blocks of land which can be used and easily acquired for locating these large industries. UP leads that effort. Second, it froze the labor laws to be in compliant with international norms, and people operating in those kind of trade zones were exempted from the current draconian labor laws, which probably require parliamentary approvals. Third, it provided capital support and tax incentive to those industries migrating. Clearly, 2 particular segments are attracting tremendous interest. One is the biopharma and pharma, and second is the mobile and electronics. I think Apple is likely to shift. Quite a few Japanese and Korean firms are migrating. One of the most profound reforms that was done was the agro reforms, where they're trying to create a marketplace where the farmers can now sell their produce to any direct buyer anywhere in the market, breaking away from very local, state specific selling. In the process, now they have market access across the nation, and the slow evolution of this will see digital marketplaces, logistics, transportation, warehousing. That project has started. Maharashtra, MP, Madhya Pradesh was the first to lead that effort. Immediately, the other BJP states such as UP, Karnataka, Haryana, and others are following suit. So, the austerity package announced is roughly 10% of its GDP, 20 lakh crores, and today the finance minister announced that the stimulus, it is keeping its option flexible in terms of the specific size of the stimulus, and will be flexible to increase the stimulus once it has got a better handle on the level playing field as to what point COVID impact will taper, and that could be the trigger point for determining the size of the stimulus and where they have kept the flexibility. Last, for the existing industries, on the monetary policy side, they have given a fair amount of leverage and flexibility, and the central bank has been reducing the repo rates and the prime lending rates, and that has a direct flow on into both MSME and large corporates. So these are some of the plans that are at works as far as the revival of the COVID is concerned. Right now, all things augur well for India in terms of its preparedness plus the broad economic vision and plan that's been laid out.